Welcome to RBA Today, the Responsible Business Alliance online news program. I'm your host, Laura Landau, and today I'm joined by the RBA's Senior Vice President of Responsible Sourcing, Jennifer Pizer. Jen, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Laura. It's great to be here.
Jen, for those who may be unfamiliar with the RBA's Responsible Minerals Initiative, can you briefly describe the RMI?
The Responsible Minerals Initiative provides practical tools, guidance, and data to help companies with responsible sourcing and environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, risk management in their mineral supply chains. We really have three key assets for action on that front. First, as a membership organization, we have over 500 global companies and a dozen different sectors, including electronics, automotive, aerospace, medical, and other mineral producers and users. And this really provides a great platform for collective action by our large membership. Secondly, we're a standard setting organization and we deploy independent third party assessments at the midstream in the supply chain with smelters and refiners. And thirdly, we have an expert staff with significant knowledge and insights on due diligence, including policy and international frameworks, supplier engagement, standards and audits, and the risks and opportunities in global mineral supply chains. And all of this comes together to provide a great package to support companies with their due diligence.
Thanks, Jen. And can you talk a bit about the global trends you're seeing in responsible mineral sourcing?
Overall, the trend is more of everything. We're seeing expanded regulations which cover additional minerals, especially, for example, in critical minerals and battery supply chains. We're also seeing extensive regulations on an expanded set of risks, whether that's forced labor or a really wide spectrum of environmental, social, and governance risks. We're also seeing expanded market regulator and civil society expectations, which accompany those government requirements. And that really has a lot to do with the credibility and the governance of the mineral sector and expectations on both individual companies and standard setting organizations like the RMI. Because of all this, we see a trend of really just more support being needed for companies across the supply chain, whether at the upstream, midstream, or downstream, to meet those requirements and expectations. And so the role of training and capacity building becomes really heightened at this point. And I think also we see new types of relationships forming between upstream and midstream and downstream. At times there have been space between those parts of the supply chain, but now it's become more important to have closer relationships and even in some cases, some direct sourcing responsibilities and relationships and joint venture relationships between downstream and midstream or upstream.
So I know 2023 was a busy year for the Responsible Minerals Initiative, from new standards and tools to expanded scope and capabilities. Could you highlight some of the important changes for RMI that took place in 2023?
Sure. First of all, it was important for the RMI in 2023 to deepen our engagement in the batteries and critical minerals sector while also continuing our core coverage of tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold sectors. For the RMI, this meant launching our emerging minerals work group and our minerals teams to learn about and map these supply chains, identify key facilities in those supply chains, and to begin outreach and engagement of mineral processors in these new mineral supply chains. Secondly, it's important for the RMI to maintain our leadership in market acceptance of our standards and assessments. In 2023, the LME recognized 6 RMI standards as being supportive of their responsible sourcing program. We also updated our risk readiness assessment to align with new laws and policies, as well as stakeholder expectations. Thirdly, the RMI expanded our tools to identify and manage supply chain risks in environmental, social, and governance topics, including, as I noted, version 3 of our risk readiness assessment and an expansion of our material insights and global risk map tools, important other due diligence tools for our members in managing their supply chains. Additionally, the RMI supported due diligence, capacity building, training, and practices for our members, our member suppliers, our MAP facilities, and auditors, including a return post-COVID to in-person training, which was really important, updates to our e-learning academy pathways for members and suppliers, and tailored technical assistance that we provide to smelters and refiners. And then finally, I think a really big milestone in 2023 to note is that the RMI hit our 500 member milestone.
That's great. Thank you, Jen. 2023 was certainly a productive year. Moving into 2024, what are some of the major priorities for RMI?
Well, a number of the 2023 kind of outcomes or priorities I noted are really multi-year efforts. So we will continue our work certainly in expanded minerals and risk coverage, independent assessment, and continuous improvement of our program, and training and capacity building for members and smelters. For the coming year, we will especially be focused on bolstering due diligence training and technical assistance to smelters and refiners that are part of our assessment program, our MAP. I'm really excited to announce a new director level position on smelter engagement and our forthcoming efforts to create more tools and resources to make our MAP standards and assessments more understandable, accessible, and really usable for facilities engaged in RMAP and to deliver greater value to those facilities and to our members. And then thirdly, another major highlight and milestone for 2024 will be an upcoming version 2 of our environmental, social, and governance standard. This updated standard will align with policies and international norms for good due diligence practice and will be informed by meaningful stakeholder consultation, including members of RMI as well as external stakeholders.
That sounds great, Jen. And can you tell us how the RMI will provide additional support to its member companies in the upcoming year?
Given the really significant expansion of regulations that I mentioned before, which touches several different jurisdictions, the RMI, along with the RBA's policy team, will issue new and updated guidance and tools to support our members' regulatory compliance, such as for the EU batteries regulation and the corporate sustainability due diligence directive, which we get a lot of questions about already. Secondly, in service of everything we've just touched on, the RMI is enhancing our systems and data, including significant expansion of our facility database. This means that members will have access to much more due diligence data covering many more minerals and global facilities, as well as greater functionality for learning and analytics. And of course, we'll continue our focus on all the core work that's been so important to members for over a decade, including effective and reliable assessments, a robust conformant list of smelters and refiners, reasonable country of origin data, minerals reporting templates, and many other due diligence tools.
And are there any other RMI projects on the horizon that our audience should be on the lookout for?
We're excited to launch the RMI's Investor Network in 2024. Many of the tools that we created for supply chain actors to manage risks in the mineral supply chains can equally be leveraged by responsible investors. Investors also have unique and additional influence to encourage responsible minerals production and sourcing. And so there are a lot of advantages and mutual advantage to having a common platform to align on tools and best practices via the RMI. What this means for investors, those who are participants in the RMI Investor Network will have access to our world-class suite of tools, including the risk readiness assessment, the global risk map, material insights platform with insights on more than 40 materials and components, policy webinars, and connecting with industry leaders. We plan to launch an investor-specific work group as well with our founding participants in the investor network. So we're really looking forward to launching that and seeing that develop starting in 2024.
Great. Well, thank you, Jen, for joining us today and for providing a look into the RMI's efforts and priorities.
Thanks, Laura.
To learn more about the RMI, please visit their website at responsibleMineralsInitiative.org. We look forward to providing additional updates in future episodes of RBA Today. Thank you very much for your time.